Bunch of amateurs have created the best football documentary on the internet. Forget about Sunderland Till I Die or Arsenal's All or Nothing. It's all about Dorking Uncovered, the series that documents the highs and lows of Dorking Wanderers of the National League. Their YouTube channel has 60,000 subscribers and a TikTok account which boasts over 13.4 million likes, which is higher than 4 Premier League clubs. A lot of the viral clips from Bunch of Amateurs come from the man that stands in this very dugout. It is, of course, the gaffer, Mark White. If you haven't seen any of these clips, where have you been? You're missing out on great content like this.
They're your wives! They're your wives, not mine!
So the last time we were down here at Meadowbank Stadium, Dorking Wanderers are playing in the National League South. Since then, they have been promoted to the National League after a dramatic playoff final winner. It was absolutely carnage. Now they find themselves in the National League. So what I want to know is, have they gone Billy big time or have things stayed the same? There's only one man we need to ask to find out what's changed here at Dorking. That is the founder, the chairman, the manager, probably the kit man at some stage. It is, of course, Mark White. Mark, since the club's been promoted, what's changed?
What's changed has been every game's really difficult. Everything's really difficult now. Everyone full-time, everyone professional. The players have got bigger muscles, more tattoos, and that is genuinely the biggest difference.
What's the banter like in the National League?
What you've got is you've got this eclectic kind of mix of like clubs that have been here donkey's years that kind of get it, they're non-league fans, and you've got all these league clubs that are in a bit of a time warp where they sort of still think they're a league club, but they've been in there 10 years. In general, it's been good to get around, and we've got great relationships, Oldham and Wrexham in particular, some really unlikely relationships. The Oldham owner, fair deal Frank, he messages me every other day, do you know what I mean? And we have some good banter, so to be fair.
And how brilliant is it to have a bunch of amateurs documenting this?
It's good, but it's been ruined by being a bit too close to the black line. We've not been in the relegation zone all season, right? Point of Ghana press. Normally when we first get promoted, we have to consolidate, obviously, 1 year at least, and then we tend to have a go the next year, but this year's been a bit too close. But obviously what Rich does, Bunch of Amateurs, is great. It's something to look back on, do you know what I mean?
And how does it help promote the club?
Well, I mean, we've had international investors off the back of it. We've had 6-figure sponsorship deals, and best of all, and most importantly, like fans from all over that just fall in love with the sort of the real side of football. But yeah, so it's been unbelievable for the club, to be fair.
A few changes needed off the pitch to keep up with National League requirements. A new set of floodlights will be installed soon, as well as a terraced away stand, plus a TV gantry. Before the game, opposing directors are treated to a slap-up meal. Tonight, it's Spag Bowl. They can also check out Dorking Wanderers' incredible trophy cabinet, as well as helping themselves to some free drinks. Today, it's Dorking versus Barnet. Before the players arrived, we snuck into the home changing room to meet a familiar face on Bunch of Amateurs, Mitch, the kit man, who told us his matchday routine.
Baz, for example, so he's got his thermal, his warm-up jumper, bottoms, he's got his slips, normal like under socks, cycling shorts, warm-up top, foot socks, and then 2 pairs of shorts because he doesn't know which size shorts he will be on a game day, either a small or a medium. Some of the players will be messaging me asking for special little requirements. So Baz, Moro, Josh and Wheeler, they'll all leave their slips and socks here, and I'll have to keep them here and wash them and put them out for them.
Did the boys give you a bit of stick as well?
Yeah, I am quite a bit at the front for most of the jokes in this dressing room, but I don't mind it. It's good banter. It's like take it with a pinch of salt, really.
As the final preparations were taking place, we caught up with Bunch of Amateurs chief camera operator Greg, who told us what his role was this evening.
We're kind of following Mark. Obviously, once he comes out on the pitch, we're sort of following him around, making sure we get everything in terms of what he's saying to the players, things like that, catching all the bits, and then obviously match play. We're covering the match for both sides.
We're trying to reach as many subscribers as Bunch of Amateurs, so help us out and subscribe to Location Football. For those of you that love a bit of matchday hospitality, look no further than the lounge. It's £100 per person for a table of 6. There's a great food and drink package available, as well as this cracking view of the pitch. And look, padded seat are in tonight. As you admire this wonderful piece of camera work, we chatted to Bunch of Amateurs' second cameraman, Jack.
So my role is camera operator today, so I'm just picking up B-roll, establishing shots around the ground, picking up fans, anything that catches my fancy, really.
I was going to say, how do you stay in touch with everyone? But I can see you have walkie-talkies.
Yes, so walkie-talkie is so important, obviously, especially when the game's going. You know, for example, if Wrexham bring 1,000 fans and I'm over in the away end, it's pretty tough. So I'll keep it right here so I can pick up what people are saying.
So what's the story here then?
So I'm just focusing currently on ex-player Sam Beard, who is Mark Beard's son. Now Mark Beard is at Dorking Wanderers as sort of assistant manager capacity. So obviously that'll be a focal point for us tonight. So yeah, there's a lot to tell there, and we can obviously use that angle. And also by shooting before the game, it can set us up for a payoff, you know, in the game.
These lads coming back from injury were warming up for a hotly anticipated game of two-touch. So what is it going on here? What, a little bit of two-touch?
Yeah, bad standard.
Aside from two-touch, what are the rules? No stitches?
I think, well, apparently there's some stitches over there.
No heads.
No heads.
No heads. Four lives, flicks of the ear for the loser.
Here are some of the lives that were lost during this game, which featured this unfortunate touch, an accidental 3 touches from Aaron, then one that fell short. This one went straight over someone's head. He didn't fancy going for that, which is fair enough. We experienced a complete head loss, but it was Aaron who unfortunately lost and had his ears flicked. I must say though, these lads were top class. As the rest of the team warm up, here are some quick-fire Life in the National League questions to Mark White, starting with the greatest performance so far this season.
Notts County, home I think, 3-1 win. Should have got beat 16-0 and rescued a 3-1 win with McShane hat-trick.
Toughest away trip?
Halifax, right, because the coach driver got lost, right. It was -4. I had COVID for the 15th time. I was fuming. He went over the Pennines. I then got, honestly, genuinely got nausea because he was going over these mountains. We got there 45-4 kickoff, lost 3-0. I fell out 3 players and we got home at 4 in the morning.
The best stadium you visited?
At the moment, I'd say Chesterfield or Boundary Park, Oldham, but you know, the iconic Boundary Park, but yeah.
Nicest away changing room?
I'm going to say Chesterfield again, really, yeah, proper setup.
Worst?
Worst? Blimey. I'm going to have to say Maidenhead. Yeah, it weren't the best, yeah.
The best food spread after a game? Who's looked after you?
No one does. No, this is a weakness. It's not like, you know, like cricket. Like in this league, it tends to be, it's a bit of a thing that there's no hospitality. Like everyone just gets on the coach and goes home and does their own thing, mate. Yeah, it's a big weakness.
What do you do on the long journeys?
I just have banter for 8-10 hours. It don't stop, to be honest. Win, lose or draw. We've never lost that sort of culture. Do you know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's what keeps us going.
When you had Wrexham visit here, you looked after them very well. You even got a tweet off Ryan Reynolds. Did they return the favour?
Yeah, they did, yeah. I had a beer before the game, which I regret really, because I felt like it weren't appropriate at the time. I had a Wrexham beer, freezing cold, in the fan zone. I didn't want to come out of there, I'm not going to lie. I didn't fancy for the game anyway, so I thought I'd just stay here.
And finally, what's the best thing about the National League?
The stature of the clubs, mate. I've got to be honest, the level of football is comparable to the league above, way more than it is the league below. And the stature of the clubs, mate, and the fans you're playing in front of every week, a lot bigger.
Alfie, last season you scored 33 goals. How nice is it to have a bunch of amateurs capturing all those goals for you?
Yeah, having that as well, it shows you watch the highlights and you watch the bunch of amateurs because everything's involved, and obviously the main one's the Ebbsfleet one that I've watched about 6 times since it's finished.
And how good is it to have a platform like that for players at this level to sort of showcase what they can do?
Yeah, it's brilliant. For a player, it's obviously good as well because you get the recognition. I mean, I get people tweeting me all the time about Football Manager. So
are people buying you on Football Manager?
Yeah, I'll get messages on Instagram and Twitter all the time saying like, "Oh, you're so good on Football Manager," and I'm like, what do you want me to say? I can't do anything about it now.
And the cameras are everywhere. How much of Mark's character does he tone down, or is that fully Mark?
No, it is completely what you see is what you get. I mean, before I signed, people were telling me a lot about it. I was like, surely it's a bit of a front, but it is completely how you see it. And yeah, I mean, he's probably the best manager I've played under anyway, for getting the best out of players.
Every club needs a safe pair of hands, and they don't come much safer than Dan Lincoln, who not only is a goalkeeper, but a professional cricketer for Kent. How's that for your number one? That's not the only interesting fact. On the pitch, Dan Gallagher has become the first Dorking Wanderers player to be called up to the provisional England C-team squad.
Yeah, no, really proud moment for me and my family, and yeah, can't wait to get going.
How did you find out?
The gaffer messaged me on the Friday evening. I just had a long day at work and I was getting my evening nap in, and I woke up, I didn't really know what was going on anyway, and then I saw the message and I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't believe it at all.
And you said your brother Jake could be the most capped player in the England team.
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
She sent me a message saying exactly that. He said, it's a pleasure for you to be involved, like a jokey message. He was like, this is the all-time record holder for England C appearances or something. He's stupid like that. But no, he was proud of me, and he's been letting me know what the camp's like and everything, so it's good.
Unfortunately, Dan didn't make the final 16 squad, but I'm sure an England C team cap is just around the corner. Here he is, sports fans. This is Rich, the creator and voice of Bunch of Amateurs. I wonder how many cameras he uses on a match day.
Started with one camera and one GoPro. Now we've got 4 GoPros by the goals, we've got 3 cameras pointing at the bench plus the one I carry around, and then we've got the 2 main cameras filming the action, and then 3 GoPros in the dressing room. So yeah, it's a lot of cameras.
And then there's the edit. How long does it take you?
It's basically 5 very long days per episode, and sometimes 6. I enjoy the editing, I enjoy sitting in my own little office doing that, so it's not really a hardship. I know people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you have to do that. I'm like, that's not a problem, I enjoy that. Like when I have to do the narration, I find it quite stressful. There's a bit of pressure on coming up with stuff, and that can do my head in a bit.
A viral clip went round of you being on the bench. That's to help you get access.
Yeah, Southend didn't want to let us in, so Mark came up with the idea on the coach to Oxford a few days before. He was like, well, we haven't got enough subs this week.
I've got 7 subs. We'll just sign you on. I'm serious. That's a scene. That's it. I'll tell Alan now.
I was literally on the bench, and I wasn't going to film, and then Samuel Ab convinced me to pick my camera up. That's what upset Southend, and they tried to kick us all out.
And what position would you have played if you came on?
I was hoping to play right wing. Like that's where I last played in the late 90s. But I'll play anywhere for Dorking.
What are your top 3 Bunch of Amateur clips?
Jimmy Mewett and the coat.
Jimmy, you score at it, I'll give you this jacket. That's £2,000.
You said that before. I'm not believing it.
£2,000. Hat trick.
Obviously the playoff final goal, running up this touchline and being a part of that, you can see in one clip, you can see me stop because I'm about to jump on them all. And then probably the strangest one, which was Mitch, when it looks like he hasn't done anything and he's gone like turned into a little old man and his arms shaking, and it's just a really weird clip that I stumbled across on the GoPros, and I really like that one because it's just so odd.
As the substitute goalkeeper was adding a few saves to his show reel, we noticed a few familiar faces in the crowd. Lads, what brings you to Dorking Wanderers?
Well, we are basically pitchside at pitchside.
At Wrexham, they were chanting at me, all the Dorking fans going, "You're only here for the Dorking." We weren't, we were here for the Wrexham, but now we are here for
you're returning the favour.
We are returning it. And you know what? They played really well against Wrexham, so we've got to come see what home support's all about.
We love a bit of non-league football, proper football, I call it.
And the story behind Dorking's nuts. They're back to back promotions. It's crazy. So
They were telling us, we just seen a few lads in the pub, and I didn't realise they were part-time.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams in the National League that are part-time. Yeah. These and Willstone. You know the Willstone Raider?
Yeah, staying in the pub.
If you want some, I'll give it you.
So you're here because there's another video happening, and you've sort of got the short straw, but you're actually
we're doing like a £50 versus £5,000 kind of vibe. So Reeves going to a big Champions League fixture.
Wow.
I think this
prawn sandwiches, all that rubbish.
This will be better, I promise you. But the thing is, we've given Reeve an unlimited budget. Whereas we've only got £50 and £32 was spent on tickets, so we've only got £18 left, and then £11 was spent on pints, so we've actually only got like £6 left to get food, a programme and merch.
What's the best thing about non-league from your experience so far?
Fans. The fans and the relatability, I think.
You know what I love how real it is. I feel like I'm at like a, just, you know, like when you grew up playing football on a Saturday or Sunday, you feel like you're at the ground, you're part of the match, you feel involved in the match.
You feel involved.
Lads, all the best with your challenge.
Thank you.
Hope it goes well. What a touch that is! Here come the teams, Dorking Wanderers versus Barnet. There's Craigie getting a bottle of champagne. Big thanks to Bunch of Amateurs for sending over the match footage. It was Barnet who broke the deadlock early on. This cross was met with a glancing header into the top corner. To be fair to Dorking, they then got on the front foot, and this lovely through ball was met with a great left-footed finish into the bottom corner. And in true Bunch of Amateur style, we will have a replay on that. There's the through ball. And again, a lovely, neat finish. One apiece at the deadlock, and here's a lovely angle from the GoPro. Time to grab a bite to eat in the lounge, which, as you can see, is absolutely heaving. Big thanks to Danny for sorting out these burgers and chips. Don't forget to let us know what sauces we should try in our next non-league burger review. Dorking were looking to get all 3 points to help them get clear of the relegation zone. And as for goals, they don't get much better than that. A left-footed strike into the top corner. The crowd were going absolutely wild. Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Absolutely incredible. And there's the GoPro angle, just for a bit of fun. Rich was getting his final shots of the evening. Big thanks to Dorking for having us down and the bunch of amateurs. You can check out their latest episodes on Sunday. And don't forget to subscribe to Location Football.